Forget the romantic Paris of postcards. Forget the Eiffel Tower, the clean boulevards, and the smell of fresh croissants. We are going back to the 1780s. And if we could transport you there right now, the first thing that would hit you isn't the sights. It's the smell. Before modern sewers, Paris was a city of 1 million people with nowhere to put their waste. The morning ritual was simple. Open the window, shout Gare l'eau. Watch out for the water, and dump the night's human waste onto the street below. The streets were covered in a permanent layer of black, unctuous oil, a mixture of mud, animal dung, rotting vegetables, and human filth. It was the capital of the Enlightenment, the center of fashion, and the foulest smelling city on earth. This is the stage for the greatest drama in modern history. Welcome to Paris before the revolution. 98% of the population belonged to the third estate. These were the commoners. And for the urban poor in Paris, life was a relentless cage fight for survival. Imagine living in the medieval quarters, where sunlight never reaches the ground. You live in a single room with 10 other people. Privacy doesn't exist. Hygiene is a rumor. But your biggest problem isn't space. It's bread. The average Parisian worker, a mason, a porter, a seamstress, worked 14 to 16 hours a day. And what did they work for? Bread. It was the fuel of the city, making up 50% of their diet. But in the 1780s, disaster struck. Bad harvests and deregulation caused prices to skyrocket. By the spring of 1789, the price of bread hit a breaking point. Listen to this statistic careful. A single 4-pound loaf of bread cost an unskilled laborer 88% of his daily wage. Think about that. You work all day, from dawn till dusk, and you have just enough money to buy bread for today. No money for rent. No money for clothes. No money for medicine. If you get sick today, your family starves tomorrow. The city was starving, and hunger makes people dangerous. Now, let's cross the river to the fashionable neighborhoods. Welcome to the world of the second estate, the nobility. While the poor were wading through sewage to fight for bread, the aristocracy was living in an almost psychedelic bubble of excess. They didn't just live on a different planet, they lived in a different universe. Appearance was everything. A wealthy noble might change clothes 4 or 5 times a day. Wigs were powdered white with wheat flour. Yes, the same flour the poor were starving for lack of. Their diets were a testament to global power. They feasted on meat, fine wines, white bread, and the ultimate status symbol, sugar from the Caribbean colonies. Their teeth rotted from sweets while the poor's stomachs rotted from hunger. They spent their days in leisure, visiting salons, attending the opera, gambling away fortunes in a single night at Versailles. They were exempt from most taxes, held all the best government jobs by birthright, and viewed the common people as little more than livestock. They knew the poor were suffering. They just didn't care. It was a world of aggressive indifference. How do you keep 98% of the population down when you are only 2%? You need a system of control. Paris under King Louis XVI was a police state. The Lieutenant General of Police commanded a vast network of spies. Your barber, your landlord, the person sitting next to you in the tavern, any of them could be an informant. They weren't just looking for thieves. They were listening for sedition. A misplaced joke about the Queen, a criticism of the taxes, could land you in the Bastille via lettre de cachet, a royal arrest warrant that needed no trial and no explanation. And then, there were the taxes. The tax system was tragically absurd. The clergy, the first estate, and the nobility, the second estate, who owned most of the land and wealth, paid almost nothing. The entire financial burden of France fell on the shoulders of the commoners. They paid taxes on salt, taxes on land, taxes on income, and taxes to the church. They were paying for the golden bubble that they were forbidden from entering. But while the streets smelled of sewage, the coffee houses smelled of revolution. Paris was also the center of the Enlightenment. New ideas were circulating. Dangerous ideas. Why should a king rule by divine right? Why should birth determine your worth? Why are we starving while they feast? By July 1789, the tension in Paris was physical. You had a city of people who were hungry, who were angry, who were highly taxed, and who were starting to realize their own strength. The golden bubble was about to burst. The mud of Paris was about to be washed away with blood.